Welcome to another OpenChain SBOM study group call. This call today is obviously going to be a busy one. For those of you who are new, our SBOM study group started around the second half of last year to talk about how, in very practical ways, we can use SBOMs in the supply chain. So our topic is higher level than discussing a format per se. It's about how do we use software bill of materials in the supply chain? What's needed? What might be a quality software bill of material? What are the challenges? As usual, then, a big topic, a high-level topic, a typical open chain topic. This meeting, like every other meeting in the OpenChain project and every other meeting across the Linux Foundation, is held under the LF antitrust policy. You can find the full policy on the Linux Foundation website. If you're from a member company, you can ask any questions of our counsel, Andrew Updegrove. And if you're not from a member company, you can ask any questions of your own counsel. Long story short, it's a way that we have clear rules to allow us to collaborate openly. Now, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the chair of the SBOM study group, Kubota-san from Sony. He's also the voting representative for Sony, which is a platinum member of the OpenChain project. Indeed, on this call, we have a who's who of OpenChain members. Picking randomly, we have Watanabe-san from Hitachi, who's a board member, but also the chair of the OpenChain Japan Planning Sub-Working Group. We have Ninjoji-san, who's with Honda. We have Marcel with Bosch. And there's many names on the screen, so I'm going to pick two more and then stop. We have Owada-san, who has arranged and hosted many meetings. He's from SocioNext. And Yari, a frequent community collaborator based in Switzerland. Right. Lots of people, lots of discussion to be had, and our chair, Kubota-san from Sony, will guide this discussion. Kubota-san, over to you.
Thank you, Shane. Today, I'd like to share my screen. And can you see my screen?
Yes, it's looking great.
Okay, thank you. And hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. It's a little late, but it is our first time meeting this year for SBOM study group. And I remember that last year we studied SBOM study group, as Shane explained, and we had a fourth time these meetings last year. And we learned a lot from the several activities around the SBOM, and someone explained from the OWASP perspective or some telco activities about the SBOM telco guide and so on. So today, I'd like to propose what's next for this SBOM study group. And for personally, and for Sony Group Corporation, we are now challenging to implement, to create and operate the SBOM matters. But actually, we have many challenges, and there are many guidelines or regulations around the world. It's very useful, but we still have some challenges. And I think, and for Japanese SBOM subgroup, we had many discussions among the Japanese people. And many members say similar situations. So today I'd like to propose to gather or pick up some challenges that we still have. So firstly, I'd like to share our studies, and after that, please comment or please share your perspective. Okay, so I'll start my presentation. And I think it, some discussion will be occurred, but I think I can't catch up with native or familiar English speakers discussion. But please proceed the discussion. I will check the recordings and transcripts after the meeting, and I will catch up the discussions and summarize as meeting notes afterwards.
And
And sorry.
oh, sorry, Kubota-san. I was just going to say I'll be here on the line to help as well. So if people ask anything that's difficult to understand for non-native speaker, I'll be here to help catch the question and summarize it for our discussion.
Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and firstly, I think I needed to explain some definitions and the background. And after this slide, I will use these icons and keywords. And I think it would be good to explain four words, four definitions. First one is SBOM. SBOM, in this slide, SBOM means software component information itself. Sometimes we discuss about the SBOM, we use SBOM, but someone explained SBOM, especially from the vulnerability or security perspective. Someone use SBOM as a software component information itself. Usually it is operated in the database or some kind of system. And another one is SBOM document. This means a file that contains software component information in a specific format, such as SPDX or CycloneDX. And next one is public source packages. This means that the source code package whose source code is publicly available on such as GitHub or GitLab and so on. And another next one is private source package. This means a source code package that is shared only between two or more specific parties. And the source code is not publicly available. Now, the other icons are understandable for reading the word and the icons, I think. Okay. And this is today's proposal from me and from Japan Working Group as well. At this SBOM study group, I'd like to discuss not the quality of the software information itself being managed during the development process, but rather focus on the quality of the SBOM document I explained previous slide. It is exchanged between two or more different parties. This means that sometimes SBOM quality means that I'll explain next slide. And what is a high quality SBOM document? And Interlink provided a description of the high quality SBOM. A high quality SBOM should apply support managing software assets, license information, and intellectual property, as well as providing a base for configuration management, vulnerability handling, and incident response. This means, in short, the quality of the SBOM document depends on whether the SBOM document contains information that uniquely identifies software and license, intellectual property, and vulnerability information, and so on. So I'd like to focus on the quality of the SBOM document in this SBOM study group. So if you have any objection or some opinion, please let us know. Okay. So when we think the high quality SBOM document, I think we need to break down the SARSA software supply chain from source to binary, the red circle, inside the red circle. SARSA diagram shows that the producer provides a source code package and a build with some dependencies, and after that generates binary packages. So in this workflow, I listed all actors. I will not explain everything, but firstly, some parties output public source packages like OSS developers or OSS communities. And someone produce private source packages. And this means similar to the proprietary software. And after that, someone modify it and provide modified source code packages to another parties. And someone gathers the public software or private software and provide some packages to another parties. And this in these operations, there are no requirement to provide the SBOM. I think it's, of course, it is useful, somewhat useful to provide the SBOM with source code packages, but it's not required, and we can investigate some information, software information, with the software source code packages. On the other hand, source will be built in a binary format. In such case, some binary packages are provided with SBOM document. And someone aggregate binary packages into some distribution with many SBOM documents. And this is an example for the development chain for public source packages. This is very small icons, so please check later. But someone produce public source code packages and someone modify it. After that, someone build it with and provide the binary packages with SBOM document. And someone uses source code packages and aggregate source code packages, and someone built in one binary packages. After that, binary packages are aggregated and recursively used build process recursively. This is an example of development chain for public source packages. And this is a simplified OSS package distributor. So it's same. Someone build into binary packages and aggregate some binary packages and build it with other public source code packages with some dependencies. Finally, some open source software package distributor provide many binary packages with a SBOM document. And this is a proprietary application creator. In many cases, proprietary application creator creates their own private source packages. And in many cases, it depends on the many open source, public software packages in the dependency with the many dependencies. And they finally build and provide the binary packages with SBOM document. In this case, OSS package distributor will provide some SBOM document, and proprietary application creator merges SBOM document into their own SBOM document. In this case, we face some challenges, and this is one example. We face one challenge, identity problem. Open source public software distributors use different names. Open source software use different names and versions in many cases, and making it difficult to identify the same packages. This means that, for example, Red Hat provides libc packages, and Ubuntu provides the same libc packages. But the package name and versions are written in the different format in the SBOM. So it is a little difficult to find out same packages from only with the SBOM document. So in this case, uh, there is one possibility to use a PURL or software heritage ID and so on. This is a simple questions and challenges. And the next one is a proprietary. It is the same example, proprietary application creator. But this application creator receive also proprietary library distributor. If the proprietary library distributor created a proprietary library with many open source software packages, they provide the SBOM document to the application creator, but as far as I know, there is no rules or no format to describe the private source package information. This is one big challenge, I think. So this is a definition problem. What should we fill the private package information in SBOM document? There are no third-party verifiable package name and version, and the proprietary software don't have PURL or software heritage ID. This is a challenge. These are the example. So I'd like to propose the listing the challenges in the GitHub discussions, and share your challenges in SBOM document challenges category. And after that, rate the challenges if you have similar challenges, and share your solution idea in the thread. And I created GitHub discussions in SBOM study group GitHub repository, and this is a sample challenge. This example is I've already explained. Proprietary application creator receives a proprietary library distributor. In this case, what should we? This is a challenges, and share the solution idea. Provide the following information for all included software, public software and private software with SBOM document. And in this case, we should provide fields and we should define fields and value. For public software component, uh, like upper side, we should provide, we expect it is very useful to identify the software packages. Unique ID, it means PURL or software heritage ID, and so on. The public software has PURL or software heritage ID, I think. And a package name should be the provided public software distributor. And the version is also provided the public software distributor. And the dependencies, it is ideal providing a delivery item or complete item defined in BSI TR03183 document. And the timestamp is when the binary package was built. And the component hash is actual binary package, is hash value of the binary package. And the license information is should be provided, declared, and concluded with the SPDX short identifier. On the other hand, it's recommended to provide the contact information. This is a little ambiguous, every guideline or definitions, but public software has uh, some open source software originator information, but we need this, in this case, we need supplier information. And also, build configuration should be is recommended to provide in the SBOM document. On the other hand, for private software, required items are like this. Unique ID is private software doesn't have a PURL or software heritage ID. So any unique ID defined by the supplier, and a package name and version also defined by the supplier. But we need contact information, actual contact information from the supplier for the supplier. So company name or email address and so on is required. And the dependencies. Private software has many dependencies, but it is difficult to describe uh, delivery item or complete item. And the delivery item and the complete item dependencies are provided in the public software SBOM. So we need only top level dependencies for the private software. Uh, and this is my opinion. It's enough to provide the top level. And a timestamp and a component hash is also should be provided. And the license information is difficult, so proprietary is one option, I think. And also, sometimes the proprietary software provider can't reveal or can't disclose the build configuration and so on. But it is recommended to provide such information. This is a sample of the creating the challenges and solution idea. And create your challenges freely in this GitHub discussions and continue to discussion and share your idea for solve the challenges and so on. And once we conclude or we can agree to the solution, it's one indicator for the SBOM document quality, I think. So I'd like to propose all of you to uh, create share your challenges in the GitHub discussions. This is today's my proposal. Okay, at this moment, this is all from my side. So please share your idea or your opinion.
I see
Thank
we
you.
have two comments so far in the chat. Now, everyone, of course, can also unmute themselves. Um, Anthony had a comment that PURL is already looking at how to include private or proprietary software. So this is a comment from Anthony. I'm not sure if Anthony, you want to give us just a little bit more background on that so that we can uh, explore the topic. You can unmute yourself if you want.
Hello, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Um, okay, so Perl is clearly aimed at the open source ecosystems, and the challenge you have is proprietary software, which is currently in the things like the National Vulnerability Database, the NVD, has CPE, where you have like a vendor and the product name. And if you, because CPE is not well maintained and then managed, you need to come up with a way of having a good way of managing proprietary software that is managed by the proprietary software producer. I'm not 100% certain where it's getting to, but I know they've been looking at maybe using a different namespace, maybe a SQUID namespace, because I think a lot of proprietary software has a software ID identifier, or it might be using a DNS, like Microsoft.com as a name, and then you see Microsoft.com/Windows/11 or whatever. I'm in FOSDEM next week in Brussels. I will have a discussion with some of the team who are looking at Perl. So I might know a little bit more about what they are. But I know proprietary software is very much on their horizon because they would like to come up with a single standard that addresses proprietary and open source software.
Thank you very much, Anthony. That's some useful background, and it would be deeply appreciated once you have some more information from the upcoming meetings, if you could update us on the mailing list to help guide the discussion into the next month.
Yeah, I'll try and do that. Yeah, there's a lot happening, but yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. It's really good to have you connect us with that information. Now, we also have a comment from Yari. Yari just noted that package hash should come from the distributor too. So it's a comment from Yari. Everyone else, the floor is open. If you want to unmute, you're very welcome to share ideas and comments, as Kaboto-san said, based on his presentation.
Can I come in again?
Of course.
I don't think we need to make any difference between proprietary and open source software. I think we need all software to be the same, considered the same. I know there's a little bit of concern about contractual information being shared. I think so that's a reluctance of people revealing sensitive information. But I think that can be handled outside the document. That can be handled by a legal contract. I think we should be having a document that has the information which supports transparency, and then how that document is shared is a separate discussion, a separate issue. So when you started your discussion about focusing on the sharing of the document, I was wondering what you were thinking about where that was going to go, because I didn't see. Are we looking to say that we want to share a document with two people, different, a different set of parties? We may have different ways, different bits of information we might be shared with party A different to party B. What's your thoughts? My personal view is we have the same document for everybody, but I don't know whether there's any what people think about that.
I raised my hand. Can I directly jump in? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
And unless Kobodo-san says no, yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. So yes and no, I would say to what you say. So yes, from this what you said about contracts, so that yeah, potentially, well, this is information that is typically not shared because it's also the contractual situation. Also, from what you said that we should have the same structure in the document, I think that we do not distinguish between proprietary and public there as a envelope, more or less. I would also agree, but there is one aspect, and therefore I also like the this setup you showed now here with the challenges, because here I think we need to distinguish, especially what we observe for public software. Obviously, we also have public sources for vulnerabilities, for example, right? But for proprietary software, there are cases where the supplier only shares the vulnerability information, obviously only with his customers or his users, and that is not made public. There may be also cases in between. But in that case, I think it would be necessary also to distinguish between public information and proprietary information at that point. Yeah. So as I said, yes and no, and also what we observed the same thing here, and what we did is we tried to also distinguish not only the SBOM from that direction or these disclosure documents from that direction of is it now a source SBOM, build SBOM, whatever SBOM, like I think it was an NTIA or CISA definition, but we try to distinguish it from exactly what you just mentioned with this, what is the overall information that we have ourselves and what is what we share, right? Because there might be a difference, right? The information that we collect and manage, and things that we share, for example, only in business to business cases if there's a contractual agreement, or finally then to the end user, because to the end user from the open source license perspective, typically you only need to fulfill obligations, right? So, and you don't need to proactively do things. So that might be a real minimal subset of what you really have as an information. And also from security perspective, that might also be counterproductive if you share too much, right? To open then as an attack vector or something like that. And therefore we tried to have also this other dimension of, okay, this is everything we have. And these are the portions that we share with specific target groups.
Thank you, Marcel. Does anyone else have any comments on this topic?
I think
see
the
that.
licenses.
Oh, sorry, Tony, over to you.
I thought the SBBX allowed you to define your own user-defined licenses, and that could, to me, is a proprietary license. So yes, and it would be, it would be nice if you could have that as a little as a tag to say this is proprietary or commercial. But I don't think that's a big challenge to make that. I'm sure that could be accommodated in the existing SBOM documents. So I don't see the licensing being particularly challenging. I certainly am aware a number of SBOM tools that do support commercial licenses, so we can flag those up when they do scanning of software. So that mustn't be too difficult to accommodate.
Yes, sorry, from Kubota. Yes, this is just an example. So Anthony says it is a challenge. So I'd like to propose create the challenges at here, and we continue to discuss on this GitHub discussions, and if we explore the practical solutions or what receiver or implementer needed, what information needed. Today's my proposal is share these challenges. So I'd like to ask all of you to share your challenges at here. So it's okay or not, I'm not sure.
So in this case, Kubota-san, I understand then that you'd welcome just an open and informal discussion about the challenges. And on this GitHub document, we can just add it directly. Could you put the link into the chat so that we have it?
Okay.
Fantastic. And for those of you who are new, because we have a lot of people dialing in, and I'm sure a lot of people watching the recording, Kubota-san is very literal when he says, add your challenges, your notes, your thoughts. OpenChain's whole way of acting is that we just do this. So Kubota-san, you have a sample challenge there, I see.
Yes. This is just a sample, and I already locked this. This is just an example, so I already logged. But welcome to the new challenges, and we'd like to exchange a discussion on this GitHub discussions. The background is many Japanese. Today, many Japanese kindly joined these meetings. And of course, including me, I'm not good at English discussion directly. So it's somewhat useful to discuss on the online. And of course, there are free format to describe your thoughts. So it is very beneficial. And these discussions are stored in the GitHub on the GitHub. So we can refer afterwards, after the discussion is closed and so on. It is very transparent, I think. So today I'd like to propose to using this GitHub discussions for exchange the challenges and the solution ideas.
You showed earlier this this overview of symbols that you're using. Could you show this again? Is there also a symbol for metadata repositories or databases? Because I think that would be helpful also to put that into the picture to say, are there public metadatabases available, be it licenses, vulnerabilities, you name it, and if you have local ones, like we just had this discussion, obviously your proprietary contracts you would not share publicly, but you would have this locally, because I think from this sharing of data and availability of data publicly and locally, I think there also arise a lot of challenges with that.
Marcel, I have a follow-up question about the challenges. Just for illustration purposes, could you perhaps give an example of the type of challenges? And this is for the people who might be new to the whole SBOM topic and are just coming up to speed.
Yeah, so if I look at this sample challenge, yeah, so the question there is, what should we fill? Should we fill the private package information in SBOM document? No third-party verifiable package name version and no Perl. And so coming back to this example, for example, with the vulnerabilities, right? You have a public vulnerability database, or you have a vendor where you buy this vulnerability information from. And there's exactly where it's important that we use the same identifier, for example, Perl, all through the whole supply chain, right? So if the Action 2 uses a different identifier than Action 18, and they all want to check from their SBOM, okay, is there any entry in the metadatabase, in this case, vulnerability database? And yeah, either you have a public database that has all potential identifiers for the same component, or, and that would be ideal, if we all use the same identifiers. So for open source packages, I think that is something that we could reach, and I think with Perl we already, or a software heritage hash ID, we're really on a good way. But what about all those private in brackets / proprietary things, right? Because if I hand over some library that is proprietary through the supply chain, and there's an vulnerability, so and for me locally, I provided or I created such an ID for that. I feed back to the supplier, and then he would then also publish this vulnerability to all his users. So all those other users would first need to search for this component because they are not using the same identifier, as an example. So this is a challenge, right, of how do we identify all through the supply chain the components. Not for the public ones, as I said, I think they're in a good way, but I think here it's a challenge to handle then also the proprietary parts that are typically hidden away from the public.
And I remember that Anthony explained that the PLL represents proprietary software in near future. So are there any chance to specify the specific proprietary packages by using the PURL? Oh, sorry, Anthony is already left.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
then I try to give
Marcel.
my 2 cents. It depends who is creating the initial PURL, right? Because you can use PURL as a format for the identifier, but you if you use the same library than we use it, so we internally could create a PURL for this component, and you could create one. It would be the same component. It would in both cases have a PURL, but would not be the same.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure the exact PURL specification. At this moment, I understand that the PURL is a globally unique identifier. So I don't have the answer at this moment, but I will check the PURL specification later.
Yeah, just as an example, you would add the domain, for example, in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And as you would have suppliers at Sony, you would add as a first section in the PURL, we would add Sony supplier and then continue with your identifier. For the same component, Bosch, for example, would potentially put as a domain Bosch supplier, right? Even if it's the same component, so we would have one supplier, one Perl with exactly the same, where that starts with Sony supplier, and another one for the same component that starts with Bosch supplier. And here I think we would then need to, if we would know about each other, or our supplier would invite all the customers to use a Perl for their component. This is something that would need to be aligned, right? So that if I don't know, would supplier X would distribute their proprietary parts to Sony and to Bosch, and they distribute it directly with the Perl that they define locally. So also that they say if there is any incident with vulnerabilities, whatever, we will also publish this or distribute that metadata with exactly this PRL. And I don't know if this is already happening, but this would be something I think as a precondition that we can really yeah, not only use the PRL as a format, but also having this unique identification in shared databases. Yeah. Even if that's closed or not publicly shared, but only shared with a certain target group, as for example, the customers of that supplier. But for public available open source or also freeware or whatever, everything that is publicly, I think that is then not an issue. I think that challenge only comes with this limitation, of access. So perhaps we should also make everything open source, then we would not have that challenge.
Yeah.
But I think
Okay.
there's some people that have other ideas here.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And anyway, I will. We gathered. We Sony gathered some actual challenges for implementing a SBOM system, operating system. And I will put some challenges after these meetings. So I appreciate to share your challenges in here. So after that, I hope we can exchange the solution idea or some challenges at here.
So, Kubota-san, am I
Yeah.
correct that basically we will be moving the conversation for the next month, hopefully onto this document to encourage challenges to be listed?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
On my side, after this meeting, one thing I'll do for later this week or next week is start promoting this onto our social media as well, so that we can encourage more contributors.
Thank you very much. And the purpose of the exchanging challenges is, as Shane mentioned, or we hope to create some SBOM quality guide based on the Telco SBOM guide. Before that, I'd like to know there are actual challenges we still have. So I appreciate your contributions or sharing the challenges or information.
I suppose as well, one interesting point here is that there are now several different formats for SBOM, like SWID, SPDX, Cyclone DX. We have requirements in the US, like the NTIA in Germany and I believe in Japan.
Yes.
So it seems like it's a very good time to, at the high level, try to ask in a practical sense, what do we need in this supply chain? What are your challenges? So it just seems very timely to try to bring together the overview. And I must thank you for that, Kubota-san.
No, that's my pleasure. And the challenge, the big challenge, I think, is values. SPDX and CycloneDX defines fields and format of the value. But we face the challenges. What should be filled in as a field value? So I'd like to discuss what values should be filled in for each field. So sometimes in some context, it should be changed. We should fill what kind of values should be filled. So I'd like to discuss about the value of each field in near future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
That's
Kubota.
it. Yeah.
May I ask one last question, which is building on what happened today? It seems that there are some opinions, but also some challenges with describing proprietary and open source. And, according to Anthony, PURL can do it, or at least the work is happening now. But it seems that today, right now, the public software or open source software is maybe going to use PURL. But in proprietary software, that's not the default at this time. Would that be a correct statement? I guess, the question is, if PURL in the future might be used everywhere, it might solve everything. But it sounds like today it's not the default for everything.
Thank you.
Well, I suppose our challenge then will be to make the public call for comment. These topics have common challenge and common ideas for solution. And this slide, by the way, Kubota-san, thank you very much for outlining the type of actions that can be taken on source.
I will share this slide on the SBOM SG repository later. Are there any other comments or questions? Nothing?
Seems we might have reached the end of this meeting, which is good timing because there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for joining today. And I will summarize today's meeting later. And you can refer the meeting notes on the GitHub SBOM SG repository. And
Thank you so much,
yeah, thank you
Kubota-san.
very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Bye-bye.
Kubota-san,
Thank you. Bye
we'll
bye.
have the next meeting in 1 month. Is that correct?
Thank you. Bye.
Sorry, Chen. We will have a next meeting on February. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Shane.
Oh, thank you, Kubota-san. I'm sorry.
No.
Everything turned off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for a wonderful meeting. Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day. You too. Bye-bye.